Number 1. The 1974 Ford Gran Torino Sport. The 1974 Ford Gran Torino Sport represents the final years of Ford's legendary intermediate muscle car. While earlier Torinos often steal the spotlight, the 1974 model has developed a loyal following thanks to its bold styling, V8 power, and increasing rarity. This example is listed at $26,000 and reportedly shows just 26,900 original miles. According to the seller, it has spent most of its life garage kept and is described as completely rust-free, a major selling point for any classic from the 1970s. Power comes from a 351-400 V8 equipped with a 4-barrel carburetor, paired with an automatic transmission. The seller has also gathered a long list of upgrades, including 5 new tires, rear air shocks, new rear springs, a rear sway bar, dual Flowmaster exhaust, a new vinyl top, and a new gas tank. If the car doesn't sell soon, those parts will be installed and the asking price will increase. The original paint is said to remain in very good condition, with only a few small dings and scratches expected from a car that's over 50 years old. The interior is also described as being in excellent condition, while the undercarriage has already been cleaned, treated with rust inhibitor, and repainted to preserve it for years to come. So, is it worth the $26,000 asking price? In my opinion, yes. A low-mileage, rust-free Gran Torino Sport with documented preservation and tasteful upgrades is becoming increasingly difficult to find. As interest in 1970s American classics continues to grow, cars like this are attracting more attention from collectors. The 1974 Ford Gran Torino Sport offers the perfect combination of classic Ford styling, dependable V8 performance, and originality, making it an excellent choice for someone looking to own a well-preserved piece of American automotive history. Number 2. The 1972 Oldsmobile Cutlass S. The 1972 Oldsmobile Cutlass S is one of the most respected mid-size muscle cars of the early 70s. Blending everyday drivability with classic V8 performance, the Cutlass earned a reputation as one of Oldsmobile's greatest success stories. This example is located in Fort Wayne, Indiana, with an asking price of $29,900. Finished in black with gold stripes over a brown interior, it has a distinctive appearance that gives the car a strong period-correct muscle car presence. Under the hood sits Oldsmobile's dependable 350 cubic inch rocket V8, paired with an automatic transmission. The drivetrain is complemented by a shift kit, giving the transmission firmer, quicker gear changes for a more engaging driving experience. The car also comes equipped with power steering, power brakes, and front disc brakes, making it easier and safer to drive than many classics from the same era. Rolling on Craigar wheels wrapped in BF Goodrich tires, it has the classic street machine look that has remained popular for decades. According to the seller, the car carries a clean title and is described as rust-free, 2 important details that can significantly increase the appeal of any vintage muscle car. While it does not have factory air conditioning, the overall presentation suggests a clean, straightforward cruiser that's ready to enjoy. In my opinion, this 1972 Oldsmobile Cutlass S offers a great combination of classic styling, reliable rocket V8 performance, and tasteful upgrades. For enthusiasts looking for a clean driver with timeless muscle car character, this Cutlass appears to be a solid and well-presented example. Number 8. The 1972 Cadillac DeVille Coupe. By the early 1970s, Cadillac had firmly established itself as the benchmark for American luxury, producing vehicles that emphasized comfort, presence, and effortless highway cruising. The 1972 Cadillac DeVille Coupe is a perfect example of that era. Long, elegant, and built with an unmistakable sense of road authority. This particular DeVille is located in Johnston, Rhode Island, with an asking price of $13,500. Finished in green over a matching green interior, it shows just under 73,000 original miles and is described as a very clean and well-preserved example. According to the seller, the exterior presents very well, while the interior remains in good condition with only minor age-related wear, including slight cracking on the door armrest and a small area where the headliner stitching has come loose. Mechanically, the car has received new rear shocks and is reported to run and drive properly. The most noticeable modern update is a set of 22-inch wire wheels and tires, giving the classic Cadillac a more customized, contemporary appearance. The seller also notes a small transmission leak, which they describe as minor and not urgent. Interestingly, they also mention the car could be sold at a lower price if the aftermarket wheels are removed. In my opinion, this DeVille sits in that interesting space between preserved classic and modernized cruiser. The low mileage, clean body, and strong overall presentation make it a solid foundation, while the wheel choice and minor mechanical issues reflect a car that still has room for refinement. For someone looking for a comfortable vintage Cadillac with personality, this example offers a lot of presence for the price. Number 4. The 1968 Plymouth Roadrunner. What if I told you that for $71,900, you could own a fully restored 1968 Plymouth Roadrunner, finished in a menacing black-on-black configuration with a fresh 383-stroker V8 under the hood? This is not a simple driver-grade classic. This is a rotisserie restored muscle car built to show and go. According to the seller, this Roadrunner was completed in 2020 with a full restoration from the ground up, finished in jet black paint paired with a matching black leather interior. The stance is aggressive but clean, sitting on factory-style wheels modified for a staggered fit that enhances its muscle car presence without overdoing the look. Power comes from a freshly built 383-stroker engine, assembled by Koffels, paired with a Hurst 4-speed manual transmission for a raw, connected driving experience. Supporting upgrades include power steering, 4-wheel disc brakes, a trunk-mounted battery, and custom gauges for a more modern driving feel while keeping the classic identity intact. To balance performance with comfort, the car is also equipped with vintage air conditioning, making it far more usable than most restored muscle cars from its era. The seller also notes that all receipts and engine build documentation are included, which adds confidence for any serious buyer. So, is it worth the asking price? Personally, I think this sits firmly in the high-end collector build category. You're not just buying a classic Roadrunner, you're buying a fully restored, well-documented, show-quality muscle car that's already been finished to a high standard. If you're looking for a turnkey, rotisserie-restored Mopar with serious presence, this 1968 Plymouth Roadrunner is exactly the kind of build that commands attention wherever it goes. Number 5. The 1970 Buick Wildcat Convertible. What if I told you that for just $19,000, you could own a rare full-size Buick convertible powered by a 455 cubic inch V8? This is a 1970 Buick Wildcat convertible, and according to the seller, only 1,244 examples were produced, making it a relatively uncommon sight even among classic American cruisers. Finished in red with a black interior, this Wildcat carries the long, relaxed proportions that defined Buick's full-size lineup in the early 1970s. It's not a muscle car built for aggression, it's a grand cruiser designed for effortless highway driving with plenty of V8 torque on tap. Under the hood sits the legendary 455 Buick V8, paired with a TH400 automatic transmission, one of the most durable and respected automatics of the era. The seller mentions that the car has been fitted with headers and an intake upgrade, but the original parts are still included, giving the next owner flexibility to keep it modified or return it closer to stock. With just under 67,000 miles, this Wildcat has spent most of its recent life in storage and is now being brought back out for sale. The seller admits there are lots of little things to finish, which is expected for a car that hasn't been regularly driven in some time. One detail that stands out is honesty. The seller openly states they only drove it occasionally after moving and no longer have time to enjoy it, which often means this is more of a well-loved but underused classic than a neglected project. So, is it worth the asking price? In my opinion, yes. For $19,000, you're getting a rare full-size Buick convertible, a massive 455 V8, and a solid foundation that can be enjoyed as is or refined over time. It may not be the most aggressive muscle car of its era, but as a relaxed, torque-rich cruiser with rarity on its side, this Wildcat delivers exactly what Buick was known for: comfortable, effortless American motoring. Number 6. The 1968 Chevrolet Camaro Coupe. The 1968 Chevrolet Camaro is one of the most iconic first-generation muscle cars, and this example appears to be a well-preserved, lightly upgraded driver with strong documentation and tasteful performance improvements. This car is listed at $49,900, showing approximately 45,098 miles, which the seller believes may be original. It is described as having all original sheet metal and floors, along with no rust or rot, an important detail for any first-gen Camaro, where structural condition heavily affects value. Originally equipped with a 327 V8 and Powerglide transmission, the car now features a Blueprint 350 crate engine. This modern upgrade includes aluminum heads, aluminum intake, a roller cam, serpentine belt system, and HEI ignition. In other words, it retains classic Camaro looks while gaining significantly improved performance and reliability. The drivetrain has also been upgraded to a 700R4 overdrive automatic transmission, making it far more comfortable for highway driving compared to the original setup. Supporting upgrades include power steering and four-wheel power disc brakes, both of which dramatically improve drivability compared to factory specifications. Other highlights include a factory air conditioning option, SS hood, center console with gauge package, factory tachometer, and rear spoiler. The seller also notes that the interior is largely original, with some replacement upholstery included but not yet installed. Documentation such as the Protecto plate, owner's manual, spare tire, jack, and extra keys further strengthen the car's appeal. So, is it worth the $49,900 asking price? In my opinion, yes, assuming the condition matches the description. A rust-free, first-generation Camaro with original floors, strong documentation, and a well-executed drivetrain upgrade offers a very balanced package between originality and usability. It's the kind of classic that can be driven regularly without sacrificing collector appeal. The 1968 Chevrolet Camaro Coupe continues to be one of the most desirable American muscle cars ever built, and this example stands out as a well-preserved, thoughtfully upgraded version of that legacy. Number 7. The 1967 Dodge Cornett 500. The 1967 Dodge Cornett 500 sits right in the heart of Mopar's golden muscle car era, offering clean styling, big block power potential, and a reputation for straightforward, no-nonsense performance. This example is located in Colts Neck, New Jersey, with an asking price of $28,000, or best offer. According to the seller, it is in excellent condition with no rust, which is one of the most important factors when evaluating any classic Dodge from this period. Power comes from a 440 cubic inch V8, paired with an automatic transmission. The 440 is one of Chrysler's most respected big block engines, known for strong torque and reliable highway performance. In a mid-size platform like the Cornett, it delivers the classic muscle car feel that defined the late 1960s. While the listing is brief, it emphasizes the key selling points: strong drivetrain, clean body, and rust-free condition. These are often the most critical factors for buyers, especially when looking for a solid foundation that doesn't require extensive restoration work. In my opinion, this 1967 Dodge Cornett 500 represents a straightforward and appealing Mopar classic. It may not be heavily detailed in the listing, but a rust-free body paired with a 440 big block already places it in a desirable category for muscle car enthusiasts looking for both power and potential. Number 8. The 1972 Cadillac DeVille Coupe. By the early 1970s, Cadillac had firmly established itself as the benchmark for American luxury, producing vehicles that emphasized comfort, presence, and effortless highway cruising. The 1972 Cadillac DeVille Coupe is a perfect example of that era. Long, elegant, and built with an unmistakable sense of road authority. This particular DeVille is located in Johnston, Rhode Island, with an asking price of $13,500. Finished in green over a matching green interior, it shows just under 73,000 original miles and is described as a very clean and well-preserved example. According to the seller, the exterior presents very well, while the interior remains in good condition with only minor age-related wear, including slight cracking on the door armrest and a small area where the headliner stitching has come loose. Mechanically, the car has received new rear shocks and is reported to run and drive properly. The most noticeable modern update is a set of 22-inch wire wheels and tires, giving the classic Cadillac a more customized, contemporary appearance. The seller also notes a small transmission leak, which they describe as minor and not urgent. Interestingly, they also mention the car could be sold at a lower price if the aftermarket wheels are removed. In my opinion, this DeVille sits in that interesting space between preserved classic and modernized cruiser. The low mileage, clean body, and strong overall presentation make it a solid foundation, while the wheel choice and minor mechanical issues reflect a car that still has room for refinement. For someone looking for a comfortable vintage Cadillac with personality, this example offers a lot of presents for the price. Number 9. The 1966 Pontiac Lemans Sport Sedan. What if I told you that for just $13,500, you could own a well-documented 1966 Pontiac Lemans, powered by a classic 326 V8 and backed by a clear ownership history dating back nearly 3 decades? This isn't a flashy muscle car build or a heavily modified restomod. Instead, it's something more honest, a preserved classic with a traceable past, solid maintenance, and the kind of drivability that makes it easy to actually enjoy. Finished in silver gray with a black interior, this 4-door hardtop Lemans carries the clean, understated look of mid-1960s Pontiac design. It may not be the GTO badge, but it still shares much of the same styling DNA: long body lines, simple chrome accents, and a comfortable cruiser layout. Under the hood sits a 326 cubic inch V8, paired with an automatic transmission. According to the seller, the car starts easily and runs smoothly, with no major mechanical issues reported. What makes this listing more interesting is the documentation. The seller provides a clear ownership timeline: inherited in 2023, previously purchased from a dealer in 2022, and traceable back to 1996 when it had just 48,000 miles. That kind of history is rare in this price range. Since 2022, several maintenance items have already been addressed, including spark plugs, timing chain, rear main seal, transmission service and seals, cooling lines, suspension components, and routine fluids. The car has also been kept in garage storage during winters, helping preserve its overall condition. Inside and out, most functions are reported to work. Lights, signals, heater, and wipers are all operational, with only the radio antenna needing attention. The original owner's manual is also still present. So, is it worth the asking price? Personally, I think this is a solid value for someone who wants a classic Pontiac that can be driven immediately without diving into major repairs. It's not a show car, but it also doesn't pretend to be. Instead, it offers something arguably more useful: a dependable vintage cruiser with history, maintenance records, and a straightforward personality. If you're looking for an affordable entry into 1960s Pontiac ownership, this 1966 Lemans sports sedan is definitely worth a closer look. Number 10. The 1965 Chevrolet Chevelle Malibu SSL 79. What if I told you that for $79,999, you could own one of the most desirable mid-1960s Chevrolets ever built? A real deal L79 Chevelle SS with matching numbers and full documentation. This 1965 Chevelle Malibu Super Sport is not just another restored muscle car. It's a factory L79 package car, powered by the legendary 327 cubic inch V8 rated at 350 horsepower, paired with a Muncie M 24-speed manual transmission. In 1965, this was one of the hottest small block combinations Chevrolet offered, and it still carries serious respect today. Finished in glacier gray with a black interior, the car has a clean, purposeful look that fits its performance pedigree. It's not overstyled or modernized, just a correct, factory-correct presentation of a true SS. What really sets this Chevelle apart is the documentation. The seller states it comes with an impressive collection of original paperwork, including the window sticker, build sheet, Protecto plate, shipping order, and owner's manual still in its original bag. For collectors, this level of provenance is a major part of the value. The car was restored in 2012, and according to the seller, it was done with great attention to detail. They also note that it came from one of the largest 1965 Chevelle collections in the United States, which adds even more credibility to its history. With just 51,000 documented original miles, this SS is described as extremely straight, with a body and underside that are both clean and well finished. So, is it worth the asking price? In my opinion, yes, if you're serious about high-end muscle car collecting. A real L79 Chevelle SS with full documentation and matching numbers drivetrain sits in a different category than standard restorations. It's not just about driving enjoyment anymore. It's about rarity, provenance, and long-term collectability. Because cars like this aren't just owned. They're preserved. Number 11. The 1970 Pontiac GTO. The 1970 Pontiac GTO is one of the most recognizable names from the peak era of American muscle cars. By this point in its production, the GTO had evolved into a more refined, powerful, and road-ready machine, without losing its aggressive identity. This example is listed at $48,500, and it is described as a numbers-matching car with a Judge clone setup, giving it both originality and visual performance appeal. It reportedly shows only around 6,000 miles on the rebuilt engine, suggesting the drivetrain is relatively fresh. Power comes from a 400 cubic inch V8 paired with a turbo 400 automatic transmission, a proven combination known for durability and strong street performance. The car also features factory air conditioning, a 12-bolt rear end with 3.73 Posey traction gears, and torque thrust 2 wheels that enhance its classic muscle stance. One of the strongest claims from the seller is that the car is rust-free, with underbody photos recently added for verification. For any 1970 GTO, especially one approaching 55 years old, this is one of the most important factors in determining long-term value. So, is it worth the $48,500 asking price? In my opinion, yes, provided the documentation and condition match what is advertised. A numbers-matching 1970 GTO with a solid drivetrain, rust-free structure, and Judge-inspired styling sits in a strong position in today's classic car market. It offers both collector appeal and enjoyable driving performance without stepping into extreme auction-level pricing. The 1970 Pontiac GTO remains one of Pontiac's most iconic muscle cars, and this example looks like a strong blend of originality, restoration investment, and street-ready usability. Number 12. The 1969 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. The late 1960s marked a high point for General Motors' mid-size performance cars, and the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme stood out as a balanced blend of comfort, style, and V8 power. While it wasn't always marketed as a pure muscle car, many well-optioned Cutlasses delivered serious performance when properly equipped. This particular 1969 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme is located in Youngstown, Ohio, with an asking price of $13,995. Finished in blue with a black interior, it shows just over 63,000 miles and carries a clean title. Under the hood is a 455 cubic inch big block V8, a significant upgrade in performance potential for a Cutlass of this era. Power is delivered through an automatic transmission with a floor shifter, giving it a more performance-oriented feel compared to standard column shift setups. The seller notes that the car runs and drives, and features leather seats along with low mileage for its age. However, it is also described as needing some TLC, suggesting it is more of a driver-quality classic rather than a fully restored showpiece. In my opinion, the strongest appeal of this Cutlass is the 455 big block under the hood paired with its relatively affordable price. While it does require some attention, it presents a solid foundation for someone looking to enjoy classic V8 muscle without entering high-end restoration territory. Number 13. The 1968 Chevrolet Camaro SS. The 1968 Chevrolet Camaro SS sits right in the heart of the first-generation Camaro lineup, a car that helped define the golden age of American muscle. With its aggressive styling, V8 power, and strong aftermarket support, it remains one of the most desirable classics on the market today. This particular Camaro is located in Bluefield, Virginia, with an asking price of $45,000. Finished in black over a black interior, it shows just around 600 miles since completion, suggesting it has recently been built or extensively refreshed. Under the hood is a 383 cubic inch stroker V8, paired with a Muncie 4-speed manual transmission, giving it the raw, mechanical driving experience that enthusiasts value most. The car also features a tubular front suspension, frame rail connectors, and adjustable rear shocks, indicating that it has been upgraded for improved handling and performance beyond factory specifications. According to the seller, the Camaro also comes with new wheels and tires and is offered for sale or trade, with interest in other classic American performance cars from the same era. In my opinion, this Camaro is more of a performance-built driver than a factory-correct restoration. The combination of a stroker 383, 4-speed manual, and upgraded suspension makes it a strong street machine, especially for buyers who prioritize driving feel over originality. Number 14. The 1963 Plymouth Savoy. What if I told you that for $36,000, you could own a low-mile, big-block Mopar sleeper with a zero-rust body and serious performance upgrades already in place? This is exactly what this 1963 Plymouth Savoy offers. Finished in a clean blue exterior with a matching blue interior, this Savoy keeps a classic, understated early 60s look, but what's under the surface tells a very different story. According to the seller, the car shows just 25,000 original miles, though it has been significantly upgraded into a performance-oriented build. Power comes from a 400 cubic inch engine bored .030 over, featuring a 383 steel crank and rods, along with Edelbrock intake and cylinder heads. That combination alone puts it far beyond stock performance expectations for a car of this era. The drivetrain is matched with a built 727 automatic transmission, configured with a reverse manual valve body, giving the driver more control and a more aggressive shifting experience. Out back, an 8 3/4 rear end handles power delivery, while front disc brakes improve stopping performance. Structurally, the car has been frame-tied, and the seller emphasizes that it is a zero-rust Southern Ohio car, which is a major advantage for a vintage Mopar of this age. So, is it worth the asking price? Personally, I think this is a strong value if you're looking for a classic that's already been properly upgraded. It has the look of a preserved early 60s Plymouth, but the drivetrain and chassis modifications turn it into something much more capable than stock. If you want a vintage Mopar that can cruise comfortably but still deliver serious performance when you step on it, this 1963 Plymouth Savoy deserves a serious look. Number 15. The 1967 Chevrolet Camaro RS Bigblock 4-Speed. What if I told you that for $66,500, you could own a fully restored first-generation Camaro RS powered by a 396 Bigblock V8 and paired with a Muncie 4-speed manual? This 1967 Camaro RS 396/375 HP tribute-level build is presented as a professionally restored example that has been gone through from front to back, with essentially every major system either rebuilt or replaced. Finished with a clean, straight body and show-quality paint, the car carries the aggressive yet classic RS styling, enhanced by one standout feature, the Detroit Speed electric headlight door conversion, which modernizes the hidden headlight function while keeping the original RS character intact. Under the hood sits a period-correct 396 cubic inch Bigblock, fully rebuilt and paired with a Muncie 4-speed transmission and a 12-bolt Posey rear end with 3.73 gears. Supporting components like power steering, front disc brakes, new suspension, and a fresh cooling system all point toward a car built not just to look good, but to drive properly. The seller notes extensive restoration work including new wiring throughout, new fuel system, new brakes, new radiator and hoses, and all new interior components, including bucket seats and console with gauges. Even smaller details like seals, felts, chrome, and trim have been replaced. One detail that stands out is the confidence in how the car is presented. The seller mentions walk-around videos, extensive photos, and emphasizes that it is, like new, and extremely straight, suggesting this is a finished product rather than an ongoing project. So, is it worth the asking price? In my opinion, yes. A fully restored 1967 Camaro RS Bigblock 4-speed with modern drivability upgrades and a complete mechanical refresh sits firmly in the upper tier of first-gen Camaro builds. It keeps the raw presence of a classic muscle car, while quietly delivering the reliability and refinement of a modernized restoration.